Yo, y'all. What is going on, man? Big Bills Mafia. It is your boys, Val and Z. We in the
What up?
community in our households. You know what I mean? I'm in my basement. He's in his den. The
I'm
Z
in the lab, baby.
in the lab. But it's a big week because obviously, for those who don't know, it's draft week. This is the time period where all of our selves we claim to be fake experts for about 3 days. We pretend to know.
Three 3 months, three
Yeah,
weeks.
yeah, we pretend to know everything. But it's a great time to be a fan of the game because guess what? This is that time of the year when we get to welcome in new players. You know, players who have been in college for 2, 3, 4 years, sometimes 5 years, but they get a new home. So it's a big opportunity for those young athletes, but for us as fans, it's nothing but it's nothing but time for us to get on our YouTube game and look up highlights and look up backgrounds and fall in love with some new players because
I'm a
as
scout. I don't know
yeah,
if you knew. I don't know who paying me, but I'm on somebody payroll. I'm out here breaking down film like I'm getting a check.
yeah, man. And that's the fun part about it is because as fans, man, we don't get a chance to really be in these front offices with the Brandon Beans of the world. Um, you know what I mean? The Terry Pagulas and Coach McDermott and Joe Brady. But we get to kind of dive into things our own self and kind of fall in love with certain players. And unfortunately, some players go to other teams. You know, I remember last year I fell in love with watching Zay Flowers. And then I saw him go to Baltimore and I was like, God dang.
And ball out.
Right. And in years past, there's always a couple players that you keep an
Oh
eye
yeah.
on.
There's always the one that got away.
Right. And sometimes you hit on those and sometimes you don't. But
I think about players that I wanted over the years and very happy we never ended up with them because them boys flamed out quick. So
and it'd be like
it's
that.
it go both ways.
It go both ways, man. That's the fun part about this weekend is that, whether you fall in love with the pick or not, I know those who've been following me long enough remember that Josh Allen pick that I was not happy with. Sitting in the crib.
Oh,
Oh, you remember? Okay. Yeah, I was in the crib with our guy C Hill watching it. My man Kev Cox was in the building too, and they got me on. I posted every draft weekend though. I probably
you
posted
you
it.
got you got caught on camera looking
Yeah,
bad.
I was pissed off, man. I was like, why did we pick Josh Allen?
I was in Fort Lauderdale at the time. We was at a bar watching it. And the thing was, they hit it with the Josh. Pause. I'm like, oh shit, what we got? Allen. I was like, I wasn't as down bad as you, but I was disappointed in the moment. It only lasted like 20 minutes though. I was on board right after that.
Yeah, it took me a smooth 24 to 48 hours, but listen, man, I always tell people I'm no expert, man. Like I'm a fan that has just been watching the game for a while. And
Hmm.
I'm gonna have my takes. I'm gonna have takes that I die on. I'm gonna have takes that I'm willing to be wrong about. And that was one I honestly was like, you know what? If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But for 3 months, y'all told me this is not the guy y'all want. So I'm just trying to follow y'all, the experts who are sitting there telling me like this guy is too
This
raw.
ain't the one.
Yeah, he a piece of cake,
Inaccurate. Can't
inaccurate,
process it. Tuck and
big
run too
dog.
fast.
Yeah, you know what I mean? They giving him the label like, man, if Cleveland Browns want to take a chance, good for them. But this is not the one the Bills want. And again, after watching some of the tape, seeing some of his highlights, then getting a chance to see him in person during training camp, getting a chance to see him in the preseason.
Was sold immediately.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, okay, so he got an arm like that. And then
Mhm.
come
Remember
to
that first throw of preseason? He came in, started the second half of
yeah,
that first game, that
threw a
first
nice
play,
little bomb. Yeah, the
dropped
false.
down 60 yards. They ain't catch it, but I'm just like, oh, he just that was a flick of the wrist.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
So
oh, he
quickly,
about that life.
yeah, quickly we found out, man, and then we go into the regular season and found out that he's also super athletic. So now I mean, I say that to say happy draft week. This is the time when, like I said, man, it's okay to be wrong, and it's okay to fall in love with somebody in April, and then come October, we can kind of critique it. But as we also know in this league too, it ain't all about what they do in year one. Sometimes it might take them a couple years. I know Terrell Bernard. when we drafted him, what, 2 years ago, off of the first year, he didn't get a whole bunch of opportunities, but some people were like, oh no, like let's not throw him in the lineup. And now we looking back like last year and we
Yo,
like,
like, yo, what took so long?
yeah, we like, oh, this is what they were seeing. So much that goes into it. First off, how you feeling, Z, man? How you feeling going into the draft? I mean, are you are you are you already penciled into to certain guys, man? How you feeling?
I'm at the point now where I have no idea what they're gonna do. Like, I feel like at this point, the least likely scenario is picking somebody at 28. Like, I have no idea what they're gonna do. I don't even if I'm GM, I don't know what I would do because every urge in me would figure out a way to trade as high as humanly possible. That's what I would want. Is it wise? Probably not. Is it a good asset management? No. But I'm at the point where I don't even care, bro. Just give me a stud. Like I don't want this guy could grow into or he has the tools to be if he can improve an X. Bro, go get me somebody that's a can't miss guy.
Yeah,
And that's kind of how I feel. Is it gonna cost an arm and a leg? Absolutely. Do we
man.
got other needs? Yep.
Yep.
And I don't even care at this point. Like, yo, find me a way to go get me Rome, and I'm gonna be out in the street spinning, dancing.
Man, doing the Harlem Shake.
Yeah, because it's like I don't want to leave anything to chance at this point. Like the next tier receivers, yeah, it's extremely deep. But as of right now, I got 200 plus targets that need to get redistributed. And you telling me I'm gonna start going to a maybe could be something? Granted, there are some good receivers, so I'm not disrespecting
Yeah, don't
that tier
disrespect her. Don't
of
disrespect her.
Worthy and Mitchell and Leggett and McConkey. No shade, no disrespect, but like if I had my way, it's like yo, I'm getting one of these top three, and I figure the rest out.
I feel you. Yeah, I mean, with me, I mean, I'm pretty much at the point where if they stay at 28, I'm hoping it's definitely that four number five wide receiver.
Yeah,
Um, what I
and I
mean?
would not lose sleep over that. Like I'm
Yeah,
if
nah,
they stayed at 28 and pick the best receiver that they think is on the board
yeah,
still, I'm fine with it. I'm not mad in the slightest.
right. So that's where I'm at. I'm also trying to wrap my head around if they do go defense first round, that in the second round,
Bro, that's stressful.
it is going to be stressful. But I do want to warn the people, and it's good that we say this in the first 10 minutes. Let day two happen before we hit.
Bro, but getting to day two is going to be the problem.
I
If
know,
we
I
walk out of
know.
there
It's
with
24
a
hours.
defensive lineman or
I
corner or
know
whoever, bro, no, that
it's going to
24
be
hours
stressful.
is going to be
I know.
pure
But
stress.
I'm just saying worst case, like if the board don't fall the way we want it, right? We
Yeah,
get to pick number 11 and all of the top three receivers is gone. I want people to brace themselves for I won't say
that defensive
disappointment.
tackle.
Yeah, I want to say disappointment, but brace yourself that it might possibly be either the fourth or
Yeah,
the fifth best receiver,
because
or it might be defense.
the thing is, like, with they're talking about potentially record number of offensive players drafted in the first round. So if that's the case, if you had 28 and the board falls the way it may, you could potentially walk away with a top 4 to 5 defensive player in the draft,
Right.
who in most years wouldn't even be available at 28. So, depending how the draft falls, they could be looking at the fifth or sixth best receiver or the second best D tackle,
And let me keep it a buck.
second best corner.
And this is all worst case scenario. And let me keep it a buck too. Like if that happens where they got to settle for defense in the offense, I mean defense in the first round, mind you, that second round would probably still be in play for next year. So there is still a chance that before even day two gets to 7 p.m., the Bills could trade that second round pick
Oh, bro,
to get up in the top 40.
yeah, if they draft anything other than a receiver with their first pick,
They're gonna move up.
I would bet money they would move up that step. They
Yeah.
would have to because you can't sit there and hope
Yeah, you can't
that your
hope that
receiver
somebody
fall
gonna
to
land at
60.
number 60. Yeah, nah, you
Yeah,
can't.
you
Now,
gotta
now if they
figure
did
out.
that, then I can see people getting pissed. Like then I would be
No,
upset.
bro, listen, if they
Yeah.
if they draft a defensive player and then wait till 60 to pick a receiver, yeah, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah,
It'll be
it's
tight.
gonna be it's gonna be. But again, we go back to everything they've talked about over the last month and a half. Bean joked that he was gonna pick a receiver every round.
Which I'm on board with.
Josh Allen was on an interview saying all the receivers he fell in love with. Like, you can't tell me at one Bills drive, the motherfuckers is not thinking receiver.
All
You know what I
day.
mean? Like
It gotta be.
the cat is out there. Then you see Benjamin Albright and other people tweeting over the last 24 hours that the Bills are trying to move up to get a wide receiver. You would be nutty to think that they don't want to get them a weapon on day one or early day two.
Mm.
I just want to brace people to think like, hey, if it doesn't happen day one, day two, there's a very, very high chance that they're gonna move up into that top 40 and grab that number 6, that number 7, that number 8 wide receiver. But as far as me go, I'm looking at if I stay at 28, I'm looking at two guys in particular, and that's Xavier Legette and Xavier Worthy. Those are my top two right now if we stay at 28. Um, I was on the AD Mitchell board until I saw some negative comments that guess what? Every prospect gonna have some small negative comments. But if I'm saying boom or bust at 28 and I can get me a receiver who I can kind of make be one of my big time playmakers in this particular offense, because this is going to be an offense. People got to remember, this is not going to be the whole get it to one guy offense. This is going to be offense where they're going to spread that ball around. You're going to see Kincaid get his 90, 100 targets. You're going to see Knox get 50 or 60 targets. You're going to see Samuel get 90, 100 targets. You're going to see Khalil get 70, 80. Whoever this young cat is, and it's probably going to be a couple of them, but whoever this
Oh, you
young.
ain't gonna shout out Mac Hollins? Come on, man.
Oh yeah,
I throw
man. I
Mac
mean,
10 out there.
Mr.
He
No Shoes,
he
Mr. No
gonna
Shoes
he gonna
probably gonna get
he
20.
gonna get they gonna get 30
They gonna
targets.
get 20 or 25, but whoever this young cat is, they gonna get between 50 to 75 targets. Um,
At at minimum.
at minimum. And I'm just saying, if it is a guy who I'm thinking, if I'm at 28, like a Worthy or a Leggett, I just need to make sure whoever they is getting targets is going to be able to make the most out of those plays. Don't give me a possession receiver at that point. Give me a guy who can turn a 20-yard catch into 90. Give me a guy that can turn well, I'm sorry with the math on that. Yeah, I know,
I was
right?
sitting there, I was gonna let that rock. I'm like,
Nah,
yo,
nah,
hold a
nah, nah, nah,
second.
nah. Give me a guy who can take that 30 yards and take it all the way to the end
There we
zone.
go.
But so I'm looking at Leggett, and he reminds me of kind of like a young Eric Modes out of college. Came from a Southern school, 6'1", 6'2", but over 200 pounds, but has the ability to separate once he gets the ball in his hand. So I look at
A lot
Eric.
of AJ Brown
Yeah,
comparisons.
AJ Brown, but I even said AJ Brown when he came out. I said he reminded me of Eric Mose because I was like big physical, but also can run right by you. You know what I
Mm.
mean? And then with Worthy, I'm looking at him like a Hollywood Brown, but maybe more consistent. He could be a guy who could turn into a hybrid Deshaun Jackson. More weight on him, but a guy who can get downfield and not just be a guy who just catches 4 bombs a year, but a guy who can get you one big play a game and give or take, that's what, 4 or 5 catches for 80 yards, 90 yards. And if you got Khalil and if you got Curtis and if you got Kincaid, you in a good spot if you Josh
Mm.
Allen. So those my two if we stay at 28. If we move up though, I'm with you. If we move up and Rome slides past that 10 spot, anywhere from 10 to 15, I'm looking at Rome or I'm looking at Brian Thomas, and I'm like, give me one of those. Because
Bro,
right
if Rome get out that top 10, I'm gonna start getting antsy like, yo, you gotta figure this out. Because if you get past 9 with the Bears and he's still on the board, I'm like, yo, Bean, I need you to start making these calls.
yeah, yeah, I'm
Figure
with
it
you.
out. Like figure it out. But even for Brian Thomas, like the skill set that Brian Thomas brings is just a pure explosion. Like, as you know, I mean, I've been an LSU fan my majority of my life. So I mean, I've watched a ton of LSU football in general. And when that ball is in his hands, bro, it's electric.
Right.
Electric was a huge downfield threat, and that's exactly what we need. But I want to ask about your top two. I mean, you said Worthy, you said Leggett. I mean, if you are sitting at 28 right now and they're both on the table, who you picking?
I'm sorry. I got to go with the guy who I just said, Leggett. I think Leggett is my 1A at 28, only because if I'm looking 5, 6 years down the line, I just think he probably going to give me more. And like I said, that's nothing to take away from Worthy. I think Worthy, whatever offense he lands on, you get an instant playmaker. A guy who you can, like I said, give him a couple deep shots a game. His route running looks pretty good from what I've seen. So like Worthy, cool. All right, explosiveness. But if I'm looking at Leggett, I'm saying whether it's a 10-yard pass, 15, 20-yard pass, or whether it's a 50-yard bomb, that's a guy who I could potentially build my offense around.
Mm,
And I know the numbers that he put up in college, it was really just really one breakout year. But I'm just
yeah.
like, dog, if you get around the right coaches, if you get around the right team, they can and the right quarterback, right? You gotta have the
100%.
right quarterback who can get you the ball, bro. That dude can be a superstar. And I'm just like, I wouldn't want to be that team in the Bills that passes on another receiver where it's like, damn,
But we gonna pass on a receiver.
we
Like
gonna right, we
they
gonna
gonna have,
pass
yeah,
on
they gonna
one.
have the options, and they
But if I'm at 28 and they both there, I just gotta lean towards Leggett because I'm looking at 5, 10 years from now,
mhm.
who's gonna be that better prospect? Is it gonna
Yeah,
be
he's a older prospect too, though. A couple
yeah,
years older than Worthy.
right? And that's the thing, like I'll fall back and say I won't be mad with either one. But if you
Mhm.
give me the card, you tell me to write it down, I'm writing down his name in 4 seconds and I'm handing it in and saying, listen,
Well, I mean, you remember the mocks we did last episode, and
was 80
that
that
was
for
my
80 Mitchell
guy.
or who?
I was banging the drum for Leggett, so you ain't
Oh, okay.
you ain't got to sell me. I mean, that's that's my pick. Like if I'm at 28 and I stand pat, and all the receivers on the board, well, correction, the top four receivers are off. Brian Thomas is already gone. Rome, Neighbors, obviously Harrison. My next receiver that I'm picking at 28, handing the card in and walking away, is Leggett. I'm not even thinking twice about it because he
And
has.
I hate the fact that we both like him because like that just makes me feel like it's just not gonna happen because
Yeah, I mean,
like that's the
this is the
bad part.
drum I've been banging for weeks now because he has the prototypical size that you want as an outside X
Yeah.
receiver, but he
Especially
also
playing in
has an
Buffalo
amazing
with Josh
skill
Allen.
set. Yeah, but I mean, I think Worthy gonna be a dog
He is.
because
Where's he gonna be next?
again, one thing that we've missed since shit,
What,
I
Marquise
don't
Williams?
even know
That's
the
Lee
last
Evans?
time we maybe, but he was more of just a more of a vertical threat, intermediate vertical. But like the last time we had someone who can actually take a shallow crosser or a slant and just be gone
Prime
because
Sammy
he has
Watkins.
the type of speed he outrunning angles all day.
Yeah.
Like it's you get the ball in his hands within 7 to 10 yards at full speed. Yeah, good luck. And again, I feel like I would be able to make a much better judgment if I knew what this offense is actually going to look like. Because again, now you got Brady with his offense. We haven't seen that yet, so we don't even know what type of receivers he like. We don't even know what type of routes we really want to see.
Facts. But I will
But
say though,
yeah,
yeah, like Brady gave us small hints if you look
mhm,
at the way they use Khalil Shakir and Diggs towards the second
yeah,
half. Like Diggs almost was in an uncomfortable position because he was doing catches down 1, 2 yard passes out and having to do run after the catch. So I feel like it was a tease of, hey, I need all my receivers to have the ability to make yards after the catch. I
mhm.
need all my receivers to be able to block. I need all my receivers to be able to play the slot, the outside. So I think and Curtis Samuel, that signing told me a lot too, because that's like I need flexibility.
Yeah,
I
I mean, them receiver screens. Imagine Samuel in those. Much better matchup for the Bills.
yeah,
Imagine Worthy in those. Much more of a natural fit than Diggs. I mean, that's not his strong suit. Granted, he's still a great receiver. That's just not his strong suit.
right.
But I just it's easy to imagine a lot of these receivers in this offense. But if I had to pick a top two, obviously Leggett would still be my choice at 28. But you know, AD Mitchell is still just
I wouldn't be
hella
mad.
intriguing. It's
I wouldn't be
like
mad.
I mean, there's
Coach
people
him
say
out. You
there's
can
knocks
coach
on
him out
him
of that
for
laziness.
for effort things, don't really run routes all the way if he's not getting the ball or not an amazing or willing blocker. But bro, just the collection of skills and tools he has, size he got.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, man, that's
He
hard to pass. But
right
that's
now he
it's the ultimate wild card, man.
yeah, now he the one that reminds you more of like especially me of a dig standpoint, or like a young Keenan Allen, like because he
Yeah,
gives
it's
me
boom or bust, man.
yeah he give me those vibes where it's like he can be yo intermediate slash still make game breaking plays, which again
I think his ceiling is crazy high
yeah like I said
if he can reach it.
right, and that's why he gets a lot of those comparisons to guys like Diggs and
Yeah,
Reggie
but I also think his floor is a little bit lower than some of the other ones as well. So
because
it's
he
kind of like I need as close to a sure thing here as possible, and that's why I think Leggett is one of the ones that will get me. But how you feel about some of them other receivers that's floating around that might be around at 28? So yeah, we talked about AD Mitchell a little, but your McConkeys, your Jalen Polk has been kind of creeping up the board.
and then you got the guy from
Keon
Oregon.
Coleman, like how you feel about some of these cats?
So I feel like what we got to do as fans is honestly open up to those ideas.
Hmm.
Yeah, Coleman, we know he got a lot of slack for not measuring up the way most want it. In the combine, McConkey seems to be one of those jack of all trades kind of guys. Like everybody wanted to pin him as your typical Wes Welker, but we all noticed that this guy is way more than that. So
You know what's funny though? I
what's
feel
up?
like he getting penciled. Listen, I know this may sound weird, but if Lad McConkey's name wasn't Lad McConkey and he wasn't white, he wouldn't be getting penciled in with them same comparisons.
Right.
I just feel like he since he looks like that, he gets penciled in as slot only, Wes
Yeah,
Welker,
that's a fact. I mean,
Julian
he's a
Edelman. But like his skill set is definitely bigger than that.
yeah, he's a white wide receiver, and unfortunately for white wide receivers,
It's slot only.
is slot, it's your gutsy, it's your you make all the right reads, you block, you're scrappy, you pluck the ball out the air. So it's never like, oh nah, this guy's just an elite route runner or things like that. And that's not to say that he's not. I think from what I've seen,
Bro, I think he's gonna be dangerous.
right, I think he's good almost at everything at receiver. I think the
Hmm.
hottest thing that people are finding is what exactly is he great at? And honestly, in the NFL, you don't have to be great at one thing. You
Hmm.
can be a good all around receiver and be like we just seen the guy get paid. You can be like a St. Brown in Detroit, right?
Hmm.
Where you get paid just because you are just extremely good at just a bunch of different aspects of being a wide receiver. So if you look at him, you look at guys like Terry McLaurin, you look around the league, there are so many examples of guys who it may not be one thing that jumps off the table about them, but they find different ways to make plays. DJ Moore is another guy out there in Chicago. Like, I don't know. He may just end up being that guy who gets plugged into an offense. I mean, Tampa Bay, um, even a place like Atlanta with Kirk Cousins. Like, this is a guy, if he slips into that second round, which most likely he will, somebody gonna end up with a great number two receiver. Like
Don't let that boy end up with the Rams or something like that.
right, my whole thing is I don't think
You'll have
he
that man having 150 catches.
right. My whole set I think my minor pause is like I don't think he's going to be a number one in the NFL. I think he'll just be a very good number two. And guess what? In today's draft, you can't be mad if you walk away with a top tier number two receiver. Because how many times do we see guys try to swing for that top two receiver and completely
And
miss?
miss completely.
You think you're getting that guy that's going to complement your one, and that guy can't even catch a ball coming his way 5
You
yards.
end up with Jalen Rager, who
Right.
barely in the league.
Right. Like only a few teams have done it successfully. I mean, you give Philly credit because they were able to do it with their top two with Devontae Smith and AJ Brown. Um, there's been small instances. I want to say I'm trying to think who did they get to compliment Tampa Mike Evans in Tampa? Um it's gonna escape my mind, but there are a few instances where you see it work out where they like, listen, we're strictly drafting to make sure we get that receiver to complement what we already have. It don't work that easy.
Hmm.
I think San Francisco lucked out with Brandon Ayuk, but now look at what they got to do. Now they got to pay him.
Sure
Now
do, but that's a good problem to have.
that's a good problem to have because guess what? He was a part of what, two championship teams. So like it goes to show you in this league, it still goes a long way to have a number two
Hell
wide
yeah.
receiver who can take that attention off of your number one guy.
Shit, some of these teams got two number ones, man. I'm jealous.
Right. And that's
You got
why
Miami, you got Philly, you
yep.
got 49ers. Like some of these teams rocking with two ones. Two ones.
And that's honestly I think where the Bills are going to be slightly different because I think that their main goal is just going to make sure that they are extremely good at each position on offense. You know, extremely good at
Mhm.
running back. They want to be extremely good at tight end. They want to be for this year good at very good at wide receiver, but they want all of their wide receivers to be able to give them what they need from their positions. Khalil Shakir,
Mhm.
hey, we expect you to be the best number 2/3 in the league. Curtis, we expect you to be the best 2/3 in the league. Hey, Mr. Wide Receiver in day one of the pick, we expect you to learn, but we expect you to be the best 1-2 in the league and come in and give us 70 catches for 1,000 yards and 9 touchdowns. That'd be a hell of a year, but guess what? When you got a
Mhm.
franchise quarterback like Josh Allen, anything is possible. Like there's no I mean, you can look at Kincaid. There's no record you can't break if your quarterback is A1.
Right.
Kincaid wouldn't have had the year he had if he played with the Giants last year. If he played with Arizona last year. He had that kind of year because he had Josh Allen. Plain and simple. Same thing if he would have went to Kansas City and played with Patrick Mahomes. Kincaid would have ate. So it's about where you land to. And I think if these wide receivers are smart, they'd be extremely happy if they hear the Bills call their name. If I don't care what I am, running back, tight end, I don't think they're looking for no tight ends. But if I'm a running back or a wide receiver that gets selected this weekend by the Bills, I'm extremely happy because I'm like,
Mhm.
based off what I've seen from the people who have played with the Bills in the last 5 years, I'm going to eat. Cole Beasley had his best year. John Brown had his best year. Gabe Davis had his best year. Stephon Diggs had his best year. James Cook. Like everybody done either went to a Pro Bowl, done got old pro recognition. Gabe done got him a second contract. John Brown was able to hit the free agency market, and even though it didn't go the way he wanted to, he was able to go over 1,000 yards. Like, if I'm a young dude getting drafted by the Bills, all I'm gonna say is, listen, be excited,
So
because
put me in, coach.
yeah, be excited because you about to get the opportunity of a lifetime, not only to
So
compete with
put the playbook on the plane.
yeah, yeah, oh man, Kyer. Shout out to him though. Shout out to him though. He stopped by the store too now a few days ago, man. Shout out to all the Bills players that be
The
stopping by.
playbook on the plane.
Put the playbook on the plane, man. I'm ready, coach. Yeah, nigga. But nah, he been balling though. Like I said, we dog Kyer
Yeah,
sometimes just joking
he be
around
on.
with fans, but like the man got like 3 playoff interceptions in 2 years. I'm sorry. Some veterans
Mhm.
don't even got 3 playoff interceptions.
In a career.
Right. So shout out to you, Kyer. Keep balling because I really like our top three corners. Not to say that they won't still go corner at some point in the draft, but I like Benford, I like Elam, and I like Rasul Douglas.
Mhm.
What's the plan with Douglas after this year? I don't know. So that's probably why they're gonna end up drafting one, either day 2 or day 3. But well, probably more so day 3. Um,
Probably.
but yeah, I like
Uh,
my top three corners.
Yeah. It's all fun and games till they bring your boy back again. Never see the field.
Oh, Levi Wallace.
It's Josh Norman.
Nah,
About to be in the hat on the sidelines again.
rest in peace, Vontae Davis, by the way. We ain't say that
Oh
last
yeah,
episode.
shout out to that.
Praying for his family and all of that. I mean, it's just so much been going on, like in the news, that we can't keep up. But rest in peace, Vontae. Obviously, most memorable for the halftime departure. Um, back 4 or 5 years ago, when he decided, you know what I mean, it's my
Big
last game.
game, bro. It's my
Nah,
last
look,
game,
like, it's
man.
my, it's my last
It's
game.
a young man game.
It's a
No,
good.
I'm finished. I'm through.
It's a young man's game. Yeah, shout out to Shady and Trey on telling that story, which is so funny because I mean,
Hilarious,
so much
man.
time has changed where it's really like only Josh left on this team from that
Don't
2018.
remind me, bro.
Yeah, man, so much has changed, but you know
So
what?
every jersey I own is gone except for Von Miller. That's all I got left is
And
Vonnie
K,
Vaughn.
and you know that's gonna be done pretty soon. So
Bro, I need somebody under the long-term contract,
yeah,
man.
but the good thing
This
is,
is that.
what I be telling people too is like if you hang on to these jerseys, a lot of these jerseys you can hang up
Oh,
and
bro, man, listen, my trade gonna live on. My digs
sure,
gonna live on.
you
We
talking
good
about
on that.
you talking about half of these guys gonna be Hall of Famers. Like when it's all
Right.
said and done, like Diggs gonna end up in the Hall of Fame. You know what I
Gonna
mean?
wear them jerseys with pride. Ain't
We
nothing
already
negative
we
on that.
right. We already know Josh gonna end up in the Hall of Fame one day. Von Miller gonna be in the Hall of Fame. So like, if you do got them jerseys, man, don't sell them because you bitter for the moment. Hold
Right,
on to
hell
the
no.
thing. Hold on
I
to the
need
thing.
to I need to find me an obscure jersey. I'm gonna get me like a Reed Ferguson jersey or something random.
Yeah, you gotta get you a random joint. Like I'm not a big NFL jersey guy, so I don't be trying to cop too many, but like I definitely think I'm due for getting another one that's like, I don't know, somebody who I know might retire a bill because I'm just like,
Go find me a Quentin Morris jersey.
I
So
couldn't, yeah, you find out
the random the better, bro. The random the better. I should have bought me an Emmanuel Sanders jersey. That number one looked good.
yeah, that number one Curtis Samuel too is gonna be popping.
Is that what number he's wearing? I didn't even know.
He wearing number one. That's gonna look crazy.
Okay.
Like I'm like
Mm.
he and like I say it every episode, I feel like, but he another one. I feel like the fans, like you know how some of our fans is, they don't be really knowing like they say they know. So like the
Yo,
fans
he listen.
really gonna
s-
love him come September.
Sleep on him if you want.
Bruh,
He gonna be a problem
that boy,
if
man.
he stay healthy.
Right. And which I think he will. Last year he stayed healthy. I think he had 60 something catches. He might have missed one game, but like this dude
He,
been
gon-
averaging
he gonna
like 60 catches a year with average quarter.
scrubs.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. You said average.
Yeah. It's nice I said average, right? But like
That's real nice. I mean,
he ain't never played with a Josh Allen.
best quarterback was what, Teddy Bridgewater.
Teddy Bridgewater or Cam Newton in 2016 when Cam was kind of like starting to like get washed.
Yeah, you know,
But
it
let's
is
go.
what it is.
Let's go. Let's go sleeper talk. Um, because I feel like within every draft, we spend so much time talking first, second round. Um, give me one day two or day through pick that you looking forward to maybe the Bills trying to grab that might be something that's not on the people's radar.
So it's not necessarily a particular person, but for me, it's a position.
Okay.
And again, it's not a position that I love drafting because we've done it quite a bit in day two the last 4 or 5 years. But again, wouldn't be surprised somewhere in them first 4 rounds you see a running back that's in there
Okay.
because right now I think we have an incomplete room.
Yep.
Um, and we have some good skill sets between Cook and Ty Johnson, but there's still something missing. I still think there's some pass blocking missing. There's uh, a little bit of damn. I'm trying to phrase this. A little bit of power in the middle that's missing. Just a one cut and go. So I mean, I still feel like running back is needed, and it wouldn't surprise me if it's in round four. I don't want to say round three because we don't have a third round pick, but like somewhere around four, it wouldn't surprise me with a running back. So I'll say definitely be on the radar or for that because it's right now it's needed. So as much as we need some more depth at D tackle and defensive end and safety for the future or shit or even safety for now, depending on where they get them.
Right.
Um, but I still feel like there's a hole at running back. It's cheap labor. I mean, might be a vet that can fill that role too, but oh, just don't be surprised if you see a running back in that top four somewhere.
All right, I'm with you. Yeah, because there's a couple running backs out there, obviously, that are catching attention of some. I know for me, one of my mid-round sleepers for late day two, day three, I'll keep it offense is really a receiver who I feel like could be a 4 or 5 guy for us and maybe a future two or three.
Are you
And
about to come on? What
you
we
know
about to
what I'm
say?
about to talk about. You know what I'm talking about. The guy we talked about before, but Javon Baker.
So
Uh,
you just gonna just pretty much just take my whole
yep.
flow, word
Yeah.
for word, bar for
Word for
bar,
word.
like it.
Ball for ball. He just stole my whole flow. Yeah. Yeah.
So you just pretty much watched the episode from last week and just took my players.
It's the same thing, though, man. I got to
It's
reiterate
fair.
a point that we already made, but Javon Baker is a
Hmm.
name that stands out for me for Bills fans to watch because I know every Bills fan in Western New York is going to be pounding the table for a second receiver before the draft is over. So, like, he's a guy to keep an eye on for. Once we get round four, round five, shucks, if we're able to sneak in a third round pick, he'd be a guy I would keep a eye out for because even though his name is creating buzz, I don't know if it's creating enough buzz where like people going like make it make it like a necessity to grab him early, And
Hmm.
when I say early, I'm saying like day two. But I would
Right.
say a nice day three sleeper would be him. There's a couple safeties I've watched. A little bit on Tyke Smith is one for a day three choice, and possibly day two for him. Also, obviously, we talked about him before, but Cameron Kitchens is a safety who I see being a
Mhm.
top three safety. But the funny thing is that a top three or four safety in this draft can go in the third round. So
Right.
when we're talking about safeties, depending on if Bills find a way to get a third round pick, I expect them to either get one in the third or the fourth, depending on how the board is. And I know another sleeper name in that safety group was like Cole Bishop. He was scrappy and college.
Hmm.
And not to say that these are guys who I feel like we gotta get, but I feel like with every position, there's a couple guys in there who
They're intriguing. We put it
you
like
gotta
that.
pay attention. Yeah, you gotta pay attention to because yes, we can all pull up YouTube and watch highlights on certain people, but there's positions like you said that we going to need to fill depth pieces at. That's going to need to compete down the line. That we just gotta keep an eye on. So for me, the two main positions is definitely going to be safety and defensive line. As we get into day two and day three, but I think for sure my man Javon Baker is going to be my guy to watch day three more so than day two because I'm just
Mhm.
like I know how this fan base is. We're gonna be drooling. We're gonna say, hey Bean, you gave me one. How about two? And,
Yeah, and I got one guy on defense that I've been hopefully gonna fall a certain way too, but I can't sit here and say I studied tape on it because that would be a straight lie. But I've definitely seen a couple of their games. So Muhammad Kamara, defensive end from Colorado State, he was every time I saw him, bro, was just wrecking offenses. Like he destroyed uh Colorado's line when they played them. Like he was just manhandling folks. So if he can get him in that rotation, I think he'd be a nice fit from an athleticism standpoint. Add some, a little bit of firepower to that defensive end room. But hopefully that's someone that's day three. If he makes it there.
yeah,
But
yeah, I think I saw on most boards he was a day two or day three. There's also the chance that Tavondre Sweat might be falling to the second or third round. I mean, definitely second round, but he might even fall to the third round. And once again, if Bills can find a way to get a third round pick, I'm looking at a big D tackle like that. And I know Bills have made their signings on the D line, but like
you can find a space for him.
I about to say, knowing Bean, he's never done looking at the D line. So like, I
Nor
would
should he be.
I would urge our listeners and our Bills fans to look at D line prospects over the next 24 hours, 48 hours, because if you don't hear a D line called on day one, which we're hoping we don't have to,
I
definitely
don't want to
two.
deal with that stress,
Yeah,
bro.
that definitely Friday or Saturday. You should be looking at hearing um a couple of those names being called from the D line group, from the safety group. And like we said, wide receiver. Also offensive line. Like I said, I haven't done my homework on offensive tackles, but as we know, if you've been following the boards, it's supposed to be like 8 or 9 tackles going in the first round. So it almost seems like if you don't get a
Hmm.
tackle in the first round, then good fucking luck. But I'm
Yeah,
pretty
see
sure,
you.
yeah, but I'm pretty sure we can find a good tackle, center, guard, late in day three. And even though I got work, guess what, guy? I'm gonna still be paying attention on Saturday. Day one and day two, I'll be able to sit back and relax. But day three gonna be a little tough because I am used to being able to put my feet up on a recliner and
You
enjoy
better
it.
put that. You better put that headset in. Oh
Oh
no,
no,
you're
we're
gonna have
gonna
to
have the
rock the
TVs
Bevel
on.
headset.
Listen, man, we're
Okay.
gonna have the TVs on. I'm gonna make sure I get one person stationed at one TV, the other on that TV. We're gonna make sure we say the pick over the month. Oh, all right, guys, we just picked the D tackle. His name was blah blah blah. All right, y'all get back to work. So that's what day three looking like for me. Any draft weekend plans for yourself, man? What you got going on?
No, nothing crazy. May link up with one of my guys for round one.
Okay,
Maybe after getting Z down for bed, so may link up with him. But nothing
okay.
really. Listen, bro, I'm at the point now where I'm a little old, man. I ain't doing nothing crazy. It's gonna be all low key stuff. Ain't no draft parties. I
No
ain't going
draft
to the
parties.
bar.
Yeah.
None
I've
of
been to
that.
one of your
Nah.
draft parties in the past.
Oh,
I
oh
think the
yeah,
last, yeah, you
yeah.
did
That was
one.
Ed Oliver year, I
Ed
think.
Oliver. Yeah, you remember? It
Yeah.
was Ed Oliver. I was sitting in front of the TV. Yeah, what
I
was
think
that?
that dog was raising hell on you.
think that was who was?
I said the dog. Shit kept trying to Greg's dog kept trying to roll up on you.
Oh, probably. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you don't fuck
So
with dogs.
yeah, but nah, it's I think Ed Oliver was the pick in that draft. I was over
Yeah,
there
that
with
sound
you.
right.
Yeah, I'm with you though, man. I'm gonna keep it low key, man. The thing is like when you get to our point where we at professionally, we also got stuff going on the next day. So for me,
Yep.
my Friday mornings, unfortunately, I'm rolling out of bed by 6 o'clock, 6:15, 6:25 at the latest. So I
Mm.
got to get myself up and get going on
It's bad
Friday.
enough having to be up till after
Yeah,
11:30 with this
yeah,
pick.
you being up past 11:30,
Another
and
reason
now
why I need to trade up. Come
and you
on,
know,
man.
right? Yeah, give me a reason to kind of like be able to have the draft be my background noise because I don't mind if we trade up, I'll keep that on,
Oh
but
yeah.
it'll be background noise. You know what I mean? Oh, okay. Who they pick? Oh, okay. All right, cool. Shit. We
Oh,
we
Knicks.
huh?
And I said, Bo Knicks.
Oh yeah, Bo
Oh,
Nix, right?
he going
Yeah.
the
So
first round. I'd be
so
shocked.
ideally, so ideally, Bills trade up so that motherfuckers can get more rest. I
Yeah,
think all
that's listen. If I had it my way, Bills are moving up. Whether they moving up early 20s or they moving up early to mid teens, find a way to get the guy you really want. If you got a mortgage a little bit in the future, make it happen. But I'm like, yo, if you stay and put at 28, or you walk talking about trading back, I need two receivers in that first round. I mean, them first two rounds, I need to go receiver. You talking about trading back? I need more darts at the board, bro.
that's a Fendi. That's
Shit,
a
even they
Fendi.
pick at 28. I'm wild and going back to back. I don't care. Shit, they did it with defensive end. Why can't you do it with receiver?
Yeah, nah, and listen, man. Like I said, there's a reason why Bean was joking about picking receiver every round. Like,
I
if
hope he was dead ass because I really wanted him to go receiver in the first round and the second round. I
like you said,
that
he
would.
did it before at defensive end. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing that tells me that if he wanted to, he could go Xavier Worthy and go McConkey in round two. I'll
Yeah, we
be
had to move up a little something for that. But
I'll be happy.
like
Because then
when we did our mock last episode, I said, give me Xavier Leggett in round one. Go find me Roman Wilson in round two, and I'm walking away happy, happy.
yeah. I mean,
I don't
listen,
even care what the rest of the draft look like. If you walk away with them two receivers or two receivers in the first two round, man, listen, I'm happy in the pig and shit.
the
I don't know
dream
why I just
scenario,
said that, but
right. But the dream scenario for me, and we'll go into
trading up to number four and getting Marvin Harrison.
nah, the dream scenario for me is just walking away from this weekend saying, guess what? Our number four, I mean, our top four receivers are set. That's just my dream scenario. Like we can focus on the names. My dream scenario is I walk away because I know who my star running back is already. I know who my two tight ends are. I know who my two-ish and three-ish guys are. But like if I can fill my top four receivers on day one through day three.
Right now, you only got two. You only got
Right.
Shakir
Yeah.
and
You got Shakir and Curtis, and you got a bunch of you got
guys.
yeah, you got guys who the potential of whatever can be there, but like let them fight 5 through 7. I
Mm-hmm.
need to go in a camp in June and
Knowing my top three at minimum is
my
set.
top three. But if I go top four and I got my top
I'm
four set,
good, bro.
yeah,
If I can walk away with two dogs in this draft, man,
yeah,
I'm
now I'm
good.
cooking. Now I want y'all to relook at the roster and say, now what were y'all saying again?
Where them
Okay,
holes at now?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Backup safety. Okay.
oh, yeah, we ain't
All
worried about
right.
that. I got Mike Edwards with 2 Super Bowls who gonna give me at least a year. I got Taylor Rapp who just won a Super Bowl 3 years ago and was on our team last year and made a crucial interception in when it mattered. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm good. I got Rasul Douglas who a dog. I got Benford who a dog. I got Elam who a dog. I got Johnson who a dog. I got Milano who a dog. Do y'all want me to keep going? So it's like
Yeah.
let me walk away from this weekend with that. We're gonna really have a nice discussion. One thing to look forward to, I want to say this before we do sign off, probably in the next probably 10 minutes. The next episode in a couple of weeks, there will be a lot more to even cover. We're gonna obviously recap the draft, but guess what, guys? The schedule will be released.
Coming out soon. Couple weeks.
Yeah, so we will be able to hopefully it lines up correct. I think it will, where we'll be able to do the episode right after it gets released. I think if I'm correct in my mind right now, I think it gets released right before we normally record. If not, we'll postpone it a day or two just to make it
Yeah,
work.
we'll make it work.
Just
We're
to
gonna
have
figure it out.
Yeah, just to have a more of an in-depth conversation around what went on with the draft, and then obviously the schedule, because obviously the schedule is important to a lot of people. We already know we got people who go to the games, i.e., myself, and then we got others who just want to know who we playing on prime time. Shit, who the
Right. It's
prime
gonna be
time
a
game?
lot of those again.
Yeah, I
Ain't
know we
nothing
got
changing.
Houston on there. I know Houston gonna be on there. I know Baltimore gonna be on there. I know Kansas City,
49ers, like it's
49ers. Think it would.
Houston.
Detroit could be a possibility. So like
Yeah, man, it's prime time games all over the place,
prime
man.
time. Prime time, trying time. Now, I gotta ask you this one question before I forget as well, Z. Your favorite draft pick of the last 10 years that is not named Josh
Ooh,
Allen.
ooh.
Not
Favorite
named
draft
Josh
pick of
Allen.
the last 10 years, not named Josh Allen. Hey, you came out of left field with that one. Let me think. Let me think. Let me think. Hmm. Go back to 14. Shit, ain't none of them dudes. Ain't nobody back then. Um, wow, that's tough.
Yeah, I know. Through the left one at you.
Yeah.
Through the left one at you.
For me, it's probably Trey White. It's probably Trey.
I like it.
That was again being an LSU fan, knowing we had a need at cornerback, seeing who they picked, I was excited. So the need was there, the player was there, the impact was felt pretty much right away because his rookie year he was making some big plays right off jump. So that was probably that's probably the pick I was most excited about in the last 10 years.
Hmm. I give you that. Give you that. I didn't really know too much about Trey when we picked him, so I kind of was like, oh, okay, let me do my research because I ain't really know too
Mhm.
much about Trey in college, but I know you were LSU guys, so um, I'll definitely give you that. Um, I would say for myself it's tough because a lot of the guys who I ended up liking, it was more so after the fact. You talk about when we drafted them, who I was most excited about. It was
Yeah, that's what
probably
I'm kind of basing it off of too. But there's
yeah,
some fact to them that I
yeah,
after the fact, yeah,
yeah.
but
After
in
the
the moment
fact, you
was
know
just
what I
like,
mean. You look at a mug and you like, all right, but I would probably say on draft day, one of the most memorable ones was probably the one when I was at your crib would be Ed Oliver. Like I remember,
yeah, I was definitely happy about
yeah,
that.
when he fell on that board because they had him ranked as like the number one D tackle that year.
Yeah, when I saw Detroit pick Hawkinson, I was like,
Yeah, niggas went crazy. It was like,
come on with it.
oh, come on, big head. And we
Yeah,
needed
that
him
just
to
cleared.
tackle so
That was
bad
a
that year.
that was just a layup. Once he
It
was still
was, but
there,
it was like, all right, Bills, you're gonna do the right thing, right? You
yeah,
going to do the right thing, right? That was one of those years where literally they kept connecting Ed Oliver possibly to the Bills. He was saying all the right things in the pre-draft process, where he was like, it ain't really gonna fall the way it's supposed to. And then it did. So I'll probably say that's one of the most memorable ones. That's from a day one standpoint. Um, I can't even think back to like the late round picks that we've snagged that I was excited about. I know the punk guy was one. Unfortunately, obviously, we know he fell down to some other
definitely
circumstances.
excited about him.
But yeah,
As
that
soon
was
as they
one
made that
too.
pick, I thought of you. Was like, yeah, I know my man
Yeah,
excited as hell
that was
somewhere.
one too. My man Matt Razor.
He's like, yo,
Um,
just make it happen.
on God, you know what I mean? That was one of those few ones I hit on, but I would leave it at that too for sure. Sammy Watkins was definitely one I was excited about as well. Even though
Sammy,
I wish that year we
it
would have
crossed my
got
mind. I
yeah,
wasn't sure if he was drafted in that time frame or not. I couldn't connect the dots to
yeah,
do the math.
he was 2014. So I mean,
He was 14. Okay.
yeah, it was technically 10 years, but I mean, obviously Khalil Mack would have been better situation for us. Yeah, I mean, long
Or
term.
to stay where they was at and drafted Mike Evans. But I digress.
I digress. But now outside of that, man, I do want to end on the basketball note since we are in NBA playoffs. Obviously for those at home know what it is. Orange and blue skies, baby, over here. What you what you think of the
Still
playoffs?
laughing, man. Like it, bro, the end of that game was just stupid.
It
Like,
was.
first of all, because I was texting you, I'm just like, yo, why does it have to be like this?
It don't.
Like, why is it's constant back and forth with the team? Like, yo, they just don't want to make it easy on themselves and just pull away when they need to. Like, yo, you got the game right there, Brunson out there shooting like me, but when it mattered,
Hey,
bro dropped a shot, and then these scrappy ass players fought for the loose ball, swing it around. Dante just flexing on boys. It's like, I mean,
it is what it is. Find a way.
yeah.
And
But you know what I love about the Knicks, man, is you can't take nothing else. They're alumni and they're past players, man. They roll for their team so hard, man.
so
So
fire.
seeing them all out there, seeing Carmelo, seeing everybody else, seeing Spreewell, seeing all
John
these cats,
Starks.
Frazier, of course, but like,
Yeah, John Starks, Larry Johnson.
yeah, seeing all these boys out there, it's like, man, they still rocking for their team.
Yeah, man. And that's and honestly, that's the most dope thing I think I seen. I was talking to my dad earlier about that. Is like that's the dope part about watching New York basketball is that the alumni be so proud. Like, yeah, I'm a future Knick. Yeah, I'm gonna pull up and sit front row at the game. Yeah, I'm gonna shake hands with Brunson after the game and pull Hart to the side. Like Starks. The funny thing is, I feel like I like more than ever. Like I know I gotta get me a Charlie Ward jersey because that's fam, but like more than ever now, I feel like I really gotta get me a John Starks jersey because like the way he be so amped on the sidelines, be like, yo, if I was a former player, I'd be John Starks. Because John Starks,
Right.
after like one of those and ones on Hart, he damn near like pushing Hart, like, yeah, man. And like Hart
Right.
look, he did the
He's
slight
like, who
tap.
the fuck was that?
Yeah, then he like, oh, so that's my guy, number three. But like John Starks one of them ones, man. I know LJ and all them boys pretty well. Can be at the game sometimes. Obviously, Bernard King, like I love that because you don't see that a lot with a lot of teams. I mean, you may see Philly come and you see AI, and you'll see a couple guys from different places, but like think of all
Not on a regular like this.
that's what I'm saying. Like you think about all the big teams in the league. You know what I mean? Even if you're talking Lakers, like from a standpoint of how many people will play for the Lakers, but you don't see them at all the games. Like with
Nah, you
LeBron
see
playing.
celebrities, but
Right, but
you don't see the
motherfucking
players like that.
yeah, you don't see the Devin Georges of the world and the fucking
The Devin Georges.
the Devin
Of all people,
Georges.
the first person you go to is Devin George.
Man, I was a big fan of them boys back then.
Hey,
They have my man Shaq and
Devin
Kobe.
George.
But nah, man, I love that energy there, man. So
I ain't
glad that
seen Robert Horry at a game in 20 years. Where you
oh,
at, Robert?
big shot Bob. Yeah, but nah, like I love it, man. Like, and I know I was asking you, but I'll just get my input from a Knicks standpoint. It's like the biggest change that I see in the Knicks that I didn't see over the last 15, 20 years is that they're finding ways to close games that they could not close
Right.
over the last 10, 15 years. I mean, really since they had Melo. Like Melo was their closer at one point in time, but even Melo had issues with having the right people around him to help him close games
Yeah,
because
Melo was the closer.
right,
And that's it. Like there was
right,
nothing
he like
else.
I can
It's
get
the
you the
only
bucket.
option.
Yeah, but it's like I can get you the bucket, but can we go on the other side and stop them from scoring? And I think that was the biggest issue during the Melo era was like I I can hold y'all down to a certain point, but I need y'all role players to play y'all position and do y'all part. Like with Brunson, Brunson can be 7 for 28, 7 for 29, and those role players is going to be like, you know what, Brunson, I'm gonna knock down my open shots. I'm gonna hustle for every rebound. I'm
Mhm.
gonna get the key steal. I'm gonna get the key block. Like Hartenstein made a hell of a rebound and then a hell of a block on that last play when Maxi goes.
Yep.
Maxi
Bro, the
scored.
way he went up for that rebound, I
Bro.
said, oh, he flew in there. I said, oh, ain't
Yeah.
nobody else getting that ball.
Nah, and the thing
And
is,
that block, come on, man. Why he
Maxi
going up with the
scoring on that.
left?
Yeah, Maxi scoring on that 95% of the time.
Yeah.
Just,
You
just,
know
just
how of a block that is with him with his body and the way going with the left?
that's a tough block. So I'm giving all the shout outs to the role players, but like from the fan base to like you said, the NBA, the former ball players of that team, I just love seeing New York get put on the right side of it. And again, guess what? Is it some good luck, bad luck in play? Of course it
Oh,
is.
of course.
Course the refs
100%.
fucked up and shit, and we can cry about it, but like I'm one of those motherfuckers. I done been through so many tough losses in my life as a fan that I will bully you to the point where I'm just like, you want your tissues? How do you want them? Do you want them soft or firm? Because I done dealt,
Hey,
yeah, pause, right? But
no,
nah,
you good. You got it.
yeah. But I'm just saying though, like, because we can cry all day. I'm a Bills fan till I die, so it's like I can pull up numerous games where I thought it should have went the Bills' favor. But guess what? After 24 hours, I'm gonna go back and say, you know what? But it shouldn't have came down to the last 13 seconds. It shouldn't have came down to the last Hail Mary attempt where we got DeAndre Hopkins able to catch a ball from 50 yards out. Like y'all
Right.
motherfuckers can't tell me about no heartbreak. Y'all can't tell me about a referee blowing a whistle or swallowing a whistle. Like, come on, fam. You talking to a Bills fan. So as a Knicks fan, I'm watching Philly fans cry and I'm just kind of laughing because I'm just like, oh, so
You don't know real pain, dog.
so they did a little report and they said that this should have been. But guess what? In the flow of a game, I don't care if the ref right there or not. And that's what kind of pissed me off about Shaq. And I'll end this rant in a second. Shaq, one of his biggest fans when he was on the court. As an analyst, though, he'd be killing me sometimes because he was like, oh, well, the ref is right there, so the ref should have seen it because the ref is right. Fam, the refs is still human, whether they right there or not. And I know they're supposed to be watching the ball, they're supposed to be doing that. They gonna miss some shit. If you want to call it rig, call it rig. But guess what? All it would have took was for one layup to get made, one three to get made at the end, a rebound here, a stop there, and we not even talking about it. Or we talking about it, but we just saying it could have been this, it could have been that. At the end of the day, if you play in the New York Knicks, and I've been saying it all year, you have to battle until that clock hits zero. That's the one thing
100%.
about the Knicks that if you're not ready to battle until that clock hits zero, you're not winning the game. And that's just like the girls would say,
Point
that's
blank
just on
period.
period. Right. That's on period. That's on my mama. That's on whatever you want to say. Like you have to battle the Knicks for all 48 minutes. And for me, as a fan, I love that because that's what you coach. And as a former coach, that's what I would preach to my kids is like, yo, you, bro, until that clock hits zero, as long as we got a chance, we're gonna keep fighting. Every loose ball,
Right.
every rebound, if you shooting a three, follow your shot. I expect you to give everything so that by the time you get off that court, you should be sweating your ass off and you should be hunched over. You
You ain't
should
got nothing left.
you should want to be carried off the court. And that's the way
Right.
the Knicks play basketball. So that's the end of my rant right there.
He said he wanted to talk about the NBA, but went
I
on
had to get it in,
a
man.
7 minute Knicks rant.
I
But
had to, man.
I ain't mad at it. I ain't mad at it. I was Lakers let me down.
Of course
They
they
cut
did.
me deep. I say, yo, we can't get a 20 point lead to the garage. I say,
I,
y'all done
I
blew
fell
y'all
asleep.
chance, man.
I fell asleep on that game thinking that they had that thing wrapped up. I'm like, let me
Me
put a three,
too. I woke up, was like, wait, what?
2 points.
I said, you know what?
Jamal Murray. He thought he was back in the bubble again.
Yeah, man, them boys got me tight, man. Denver just too solid of a team, man. It's a terrible matchup for the Lakers.
It
Look,
is.
I think against most teams, the Lakers could easily be a Western Conference championship team, but Denver just they got their number.
They do.
It's not a good matchup.
It's not, man.
It could be better, but
Yeah.
it's boys can't get in the garage. But either way, man, it's a lot of good matchups going on. We'll see what next round holds, but it's been a good first round so far, for the
Yeah.
most part.
For the most part, yeah. It is. There's some
Yeah, it's been a
forgettable.
couple blowouts that I kind of like, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
a couple games I'm like, you
I
might as well
saw.
just
I saw.
the Heat can go home now. You might as well just pack it up. Yeah, boys
I,
can go.
I also saw somebody say they might as well put that Orlando Cleveland series on Snapchat. I said, yeah, y'all wrong.
Shit, put that shit on Tubi. Fuck it. Like it shit don't ain't nobody watching that game.
Nobody wants it.
I
Sorry.
did watch game one. I watched a little bit of game one only because it was on, but
Nah,
it,
bro.
mm-mm.
Nah,
You not that ain't bringing no eyeballs to the TV at all. I'm like, yeah,
that's
that shit
crazy.
gonna be on NBA TV the whole series.
Please
That
don't
ain't
put it.
hitting no.
Yeah, don't even waste your time putting that on TNT. Um,
Yeah, that ain't gonna do nothing. But listen, I got a feeling Miami getting blown out tonight. That's just my
I hope
thought
not. I
process.
picked them to cover the 14 spread, but
14 and a half. I don't know, Doc.
yeah,
I don't think they covering that.
I might be pushing
Is
it.
Butler back? If Butler ain't back, they ain't covering
Oh,
that.
nah, I know. I'm trying to go off Coach Spo, man. I'm hoping Spo get them boys the, you know what I mean?
Fair.
Spo to scheme up some. Maybe Tatum have an off day. Jalen Brown start crossing with his left again. Yeah, dribbling out of bounds.
Yeah.
You know how I go. But now, y'all, listen, man. We approaching an hour. I ain't going to waste too much of y'all time. Again, enjoy this weekend because we only get one draft week in a year. When it comes to
Mm-hmm.
the NFL draft, the NFL draft is above every other draft out there.
By far.
I don't care if it's NHL, NBA. The NFL draft is unlike anything other. So enjoy it. If you got to work, yeah, I mean, keep your alerts
Figure
on.
it out.
Yeah, figure it out or just keep your alerts on and just You know what I mean? When you get off work, make sure you go right to YouTube and find out about these players because people always ask me like, "Yo, how you know what this person look like?" And that and that.
YouTube, baby.
I'm like, bro, we got the internet in our hands. Like literally, every time we make a acquisition of a starter or a key backup, I just look them up.
Right.
And guess what? Now I know their face. People like, oh shit, you know what? Yes, it's called the internet, y'all. Like
Mm-hmm.
use the
You
internet.
it's for more than just Facebook and
Yeah,
Instagram.
use the internet, y'all. So I urge you guys, if you miss a pick or whatever, do your research. Know what you're talking about because the last thing I
Yeah,
heard,
I would say don't trip right away. Don't say this is a terrible pick. Like make sure you actually
do your
look at them
research.
play before you just trip because it's named different than all the mock drafts you've been seeing. Or they say it's a reach because all the mocks had them going in the third round. I'm like, bro, these is mocks. These ain't NFL scouts. These ain't NFL drafts or GMs making these mock drafts. So just because it don't follow the big board or PFF, don't mean it's a bad pick. So reserve your judgment till you get a chance to actually look at them and you know, then
That's
go
it.
from there. But on a side note, shout out to the Sabres. See, I'm rocking the throwback goat head. Shout out to the Sabres. Brought my man Lindy Ruff back in the fold. You know,
Lindy,
new coach. We'll see what we can make happen. Hopefully we
new
can
stats.
relive a little bit of glory days. But it
Right.
is what it is.
It is.
So
We're gonna see what's gonna happen. I mean, I try to keep my comments away when I'm not too deep in the hockey game, but I do know he had some memorable moments back when we were making our runs back in the day. So hopefully this means a fresh start for the damn Sabres and
you need it.
we can kind of
You
rekindle
need it.
some of that 90s magic. But listen, y'all, as I said again, man, y'all enjoy. If you haven't watched our mock draft episode, go back and rewatch that. We posted that last week in the basement with Dennis. So rewatch the mock draft if you haven't seen us go through the first 3-4 rounds. Um, we will look to recap the next time y'all see us, and hopefully it's after the schedule is released, so we can hit two things at once. Y'all feel me? So listen, y'all, your boy Velas here. Let's go Knicks. Let's go Bills. And go
It's
targets. I mean, go
hey,
wide receivers.
listen, you know what time it is. It's Zymes. We appreciate y'all rocking with us for another week. But this time, what? No, it's too early in the night. But let's say in about 48, 50 hours, we'll be welcoming Rome Odunze to the Buffalo Bills, man.
Oh, big predictions.
Let's go make it happen. That's all I care about. Make it happen.
Big
The
prediction.
rest, I don't care. I don't care about the first round next year. I don't care about that.
Yeah.
Go get me my boy Rome and let's get to work.
I like it, man. If it's Rome, if it's Brian, if it's one of the Xaviers, give me one of them top five guys. That's how I'm gonna leave it with y'all.
All
Give
right,
me one of
fair.
my Give me one of the top five guys. I'll be happy. If I gotta wait till day two, just make sure whoever that is that we're jumping up to get in day two, make sure I
Right.
get stuck. So anyways, man, we gonna wish our mafia the best of luck. Enjoy it. Be safe. Be responsible, but enjoy it. Like I said, this is a once in a year event. So let's enjoy this weekend. We gonna catch up with y'all in a couple weeks. All right.
See y'all later. Peace out.
Peace.